This week, I'm joined by someone who, to me, epitomises the joy and optimism of the season. He's a presenter, performer, and one of the hardest working guys in showbiz. It's the fabulous James Patrice. Oh, welcome.
Vicky. What an introduction.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Oh my God.
Merry Christmas.
We're in the spirit of things.
We are.
We have to be, don't we,
We have to, of course.
The world is it's a tricky old place, but the Christmas spirit prevails.
The Christmas spirit will power through. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. You look fab.
Thanks.
I'm loving it.
Thank you for wearing your Christmas jumper.
Do you know, because I know you were like, if you've met in the festival, I was like,
Yeah.
Vicki, don't worry.
Well,
if there's one thing I'll have at home.
Well, this is it.
It's
Like I
festive
said,
garb.
you never know with you just how festive you're going to go. So I didn't know.
It could be one or the other.
It could be full Malahide woman in her festive rig out.
I mean, the table goes to just ribcage underneath.
On purpose.
Let's say the mistletoe is hanging. You know? And we will see how low it goes or how high it goes.
I love it.
That's absolutely disgusting. I'm sorry,
No,
Vicki.
this is what we want on this
apologise.
podcast. This is what we got you for.
Exactly.
So come here. When I say you're the hardest working guy in showbiz, I mean it. You've got a very
thank you.
busy festive period planned.
Yes, Christmas is always busy.
Tell me what's going on for you.
So I've been doing the Today shows in September, so that's kind of a few days a week, and then that wraps I think the 19th, and then I'm in the Panto in the Olympia.
Amazing.
Freezing.
Freezing.
Not frozen. Freezing.
For legal reasons.
For legal reasons. And instead of Elsa and Anna in Arundel, it's Elsie and Hannah in Darndale.
Stop! I'm obsessed.
And why not?
And may I ask you, is one of the girls called Alison by any chance?
Alison Denon.
I went to
She's
school
Elsa.
with her.
Ah, stop the lights.
She was in my class for 6 years.
Oh, she's amazing.
Classic Dublin.
She is a Disney princess.
I am jealous that she gets to do this with her life. I'm not going to lie,
Come here.
because
if there's some days we've 3 shows a day.
stop, I'll
if
hop
she's a bit
in.
ropey,
I
we'll
will
get
hop
you
in. I used to fight her. We used to have a competition in school called the Rose of St. Paul's, and it was kind of half talent, half Rose of Tralee.
Of course,
And
yes.
Alison was always the one picked because she's a beautiful singer, and I used to be rotted with jealousy.
You
So
can sing.
I can understudy her.
I believe you can do
Thanks,
it.
James.
Give me a bar.
No, I can't possibly. My voice is not warmed up.
Everyone. It's Christmas time.
One thing we're not going to do on this podcast is
No,
a sing song,
we'll
because
hold off.
we'll never stop.
I know,
Imagine if I
actually.
got John to talk about like Wicked or something, we'd literally never stop. So
I mean, we wouldn't.
must restrain
Okay,
ourselves.
we will. We're
but
being
that's
good.
so exciting. So
Yeah.
what's your character called?
So no laugh
No Laugh.
again for legal reasons.
But you're going to be a laugh.
I'll be.
There's-
Oh yes, he'll
there's
be a
no
laugh.
doubt.
Yes, Jeffo. It's
And
great
did I
fun.
hear you're doing a raunchy version as well?
Yes, there's a late night panto, Vicki.
Oh.
For one night only. It's sold out.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. Yes.
Of course.
December 30th. It's so some of the cast. So myself, Ryan, Zoe, Al, some of the people from the main cast are in it, and then a few guest stars. We have Davina Devine.
Davina, woo!
I'm sold already.
Yeah.
We have Mr. Pussy.
Ooh, old
Yes,
school.
yes, we do.
I love
We
that.
are ticking the boxes.
I have to go to that now.
It'll be amazing.
Guest list me.
Oh, we'll get you in. We Carl Spain, Willie White, and just a great, and sorry, Linda Martin.
Oh, Jesus. Say no more. You should bring the
And
dogs.
I think I'm the queen in it, and Linda loves playing my balls.
Oh,
So
perfect.
she'll be there
Oh
dangling
my
off
God,
them.
that's so
Yes.
exciting. Right, you've just got me very, very excited for the whole festive period. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Now tell us, you've picked 2 films for us.
I have.
Now the first one was your own choice.
Yes.
And tell us what it is.
So it's Sandy
Sandy
B,
B.
while you were sleeping.
Amazing.
So I watched it for the first time when I was a child because it came out in 95.
Yes. Now,
So
how old were you in 1995?
I would have been
Making
6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think maybe
Not too much younger than me. That's
you
fine.
know, I'm sure
Yeah,
we're
we're
the
peers.
Youth personified, Vicki. Yeah. So I remember seeing it when I was younger, and I was just obsessed with it. It's so feel good. And I remember it actually came out in April
Yes.
that year.
So
it's not a Christmas.
It is a Christmas film in that it's set at Christmas.
Yes.
And there are, there's decorations, but it's not the point.
No.
The point is the love story, which I love. So it's kind
Christmas
of a love
is
story.
kind of the backdrop.
Yeah, which I'm into.
But it's still it's with the way that they approach it. It's not just like we'll throw a bit of Christmas in.
Yeah.
Like you're immersed from the
Oh, you
get-go.
are immersed.
And the circumstances and why she's working that day.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
of her family.
So-
it's just a gorgeous film.
It is gorgeous.
I'm obsessed. Yeah.
I watched it again last week, and I remember being like, why is this not more popular? Like,
Yeah, not a lot of people know
about it. Now it's on Disney Plus, so
fantastic.
go and
yes.
watch it on Disney
yeah,
Plus
Yeah.
if you haven't seen it. But it is Sandra Bullock at her finest to me.
It really is. And everything about her, she's
She's luminous.
luminous.
But she's meant to be a minger.
This is so funny.
So this is the problem,
yeah,
right?
I know.
We had
I know.
we had PJ Kirby on, and he was talking about miscongeniality, and
Yeah.
we were talking about how for the first third of that film, she's meant to be a festering minger, right? And everyone is repelled by her, and it's ridiculous because not only is she luminous, she has the bone structure of a Greek goddess. Like, she's so stunning.
She's phenomenal.
In this film, she's playing. I would think that she's in her kind of sad sack era.
Yes.
Right.
And everything is
So,
oversized.
yeah.
Where she's wearing her dad's coat, of course,
Yes.
which is gorgeous.
Her hair's messy, but she
Yeah.
still looks fucking perfect.
And she has her. I find in this movie a bit like Ariana 2 years ago. Everything is sleeves.
Yes,
She loves the
she's
sleeve
holding a sleeve
all the time.
Yeah.
And it's I suppose like from the get go of it, and her little story, her backstory
Yeah.
of traveling the world and with her dad, even though they never went anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, you can't help but feel immediately sorry for her.
So it
You're
has
already
it
on her
has the
side.
familiar trope that in doing a season of this podcast I have learned. The dead mother.
Yeah.
So the single father, he's kind of, and then we find out that he's dead too. So she's at the beginning of the film, she's an orphan, and she gave up college to look after her dad in his final years, and all of the money that they had, because it's America, went on his care. So she has no money. So she's in Chicago. She's working on the Loop, which is their kind of above ground subway system,
Yes.
and it's a very depressing job. She's just sitting there all day, and people are throwing coins at her, and she's giving them a token, and that's the
And I
extent
suppose,
of it.
it's the ultimate kind of very obvious metaphor. She's sitting there watching everyone else travel and
Watching
live
the
their
world
lives.
go by.
Literally.
So While You Were Sleeping came out in 1995,
Yes.
directed by a man called John Turteltaub.
Didn't do much since.
Oh, you wait and hear what he did. He did The Meg.
I saw that. yeah. Like,
The
I
shark
thought he was going to
film.
be a massive rom-com.
Well, he did the National Treasure movies.
Oh, yeah.
Which I love, shockingly, because I hate
didn't
that
see
shit.
them.
Oh, they're very good.
Okay.
So it's all about the fucking Constitution, and your man Nicolas Cage has to rescue the Constitution out of the Oval Office desk, and it's getting stolen, and they're a romp.
Okay,
They're a
they're
fun
fun.
romp.
Brilliant, yeah.
Diane Kruger's in them. She brings a bit of glamour.
Oh,
Glam.
nice.
And he also directed Cool Runnings, which
Yes,
when I
that's
was a
pretty
child,
cool now.
that was one of the coolest films ever.
Amazing. I remember I
Jamaican bobsled team.
frequently got that from Extravision.
Oh,
Frequently.
Extravision.
Yes.
We're going to talk about Extravision later,
brilliant.
because it plays in our next film. It plays a bit of a role.
Yes.
So John Turteltaub, the writer, never wrote another film after this. It was like he peaked. He did his best, and then
Well, I mean,
there's no more.
He did.
He did.
He did peak.
It's a wonderful
with,
film.
With what he did. But I suppose I shouldn't where to begin with it. Like, the whole thing about, it's all, of course, by chance, and I often wonder that stunt on the tracks. It's very close.
It's very close.
So
So
she waits. I'm like, look,
yeah,
you're
roll
rolling,
over.
come
Yeah, and she
on.
did her own stunts as well. Did
Did
Sandra?
she?
Yeah, she insists on doing her own stunts. She did them in Miss Congeniality too.
Oh, my
She's a great gal.
You know what I
The
mean?
movie opens with this kind of father-daughter montage where she's talking about, how her dad loved her mom so much, and they had such a beautiful relationship, and she thought she really wanted to see the world, and she thought that's
And
what
she
she'd
carries
grow
her
up to
passport
be.
with her everywhere.
Yeah, and which is for an American to have a passport is unusual, because a lot of them don't.
Yeah.
Something like 14% of the population, something like
What?
that. Yeah, it's crazy. So she had this, her mother's absent in her life. She's died quite young. She doesn't really remember her that much. And yeah, she's working in the Loop. She's developed this severe crush on one of the commuters.
Yes. Who now? Okay.
Do I fancy him?
Yeah.
No.
No, neither do I.
Really? I thought you'd
Now,
be into
come
it.
here. Obviously, I'd ride the bollocks off. But obviously, you know what I mean.
I fancied him in the OC when he's
More.
the dad.
Yeah, he's better
He's better
older.
older. He's one of those men that gets better looking.
And he was in Law and Order SVU for a bit
Oh,
briefly
was
as well,
he?
and he was
Oh.
handsome in that as well.
I mean, he just has a very the face looks like the lips are done. He's very kind of caricature looking.
Yes.
And I get why she likes him. They kind of look like brother and sister, though.
But also, he kind of ignores her
Yeah.
until Christmas Day when he says
Merry Christmas.
Like,
So she ends up working Christmas Day because she has no family, and her boss knows she's
Which
no
is
family.
horrible.
And he guilts her into it. And
Yes.
she's just like, fine, I've nothing else to do. She also doesn't seem to have any female friends.
here's the thing: the only person she ever interacts with is her coworker.
Yeah.
When your man's sister comes with
Yes.
all her friends.
She has one female co-worker they don't seem to talk much. They kind of sit
Yeah.
back to back.
Yeah.
And then she has this older boss guy that she seems to be pally with.
Yeah, they do a good job of giving her that total solitude.
Yeah, but she's not so much of a minger that nobody fancies her, because
Yes.
her neighbour, who to me, he played Richie Aprile in The Sopranos, right? So he will always be Richie Aprile to me. But in this,
that character's gay.
do you think?
Doesn't she find him in the closet trying on?
Women's clothing?
Yeah, her
It might
shoes
just be
or
a
something.
transvestite.
If you're into.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought
maybe he's performing masculinity.
Perhaps.
That does happen because he's coming on pretty strong.
That's what made me think it. That he's so like,
Hey.
but in actual fact, maybe he wants Peter.
Oh, there you go. Sure, you're just applying all this subtext. That's what we're here for.
Yes, we're creating our own little avenues as we go
onto these films.
Totally.
But yeah, she calls him her Prince Charming, and they've never even spoken. It's a bit sad, but I know what it's like to have a painful crush. I used to get painful crushes. I actually had a painful crush on my husband before I snagged him.
Really?
Yeah. Painful.
But that's I mean it's
good.
It could I actually remember I once had a train crush.
Did you?
Guy.
A commuting crush on the Dart?
Yeah, he was in Pier Station when I was at college, the same as yourself in Trinity, and I would get the train every day, and I'd see him all the time, and we used to wait.
Would you eye fuck him?
Would I what? Well, it was beyond that, Vicki.
Oh.
It was like I can picture us sitting watching while you were sleeping.
Oh my gosh.
Caressing each other. And not in a sexual way.
A fond way.
Yes.
A cohabiting way.
Fondling. Yes, exactly.
And what happened?
Nothing. Nah, he's I know. I actually ended up getting to know him.
Did you?
Through because like all gays know each other, and he's married now and everything. But I remember fancying him for a few years, and
he was a gay and all. Because imagine he wasn't even a gay, then he's really projecting onto him.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be. I know me.
Oh my god, I want you to tell me off air who this man is, so I can look him up on Instagram.
I don't think you'd know him. Lovely man. But I remember I used to think I'm Sandra Bullock.
You are Sandra Bullock to me.
Thank you. Slightly plumper and hairier.
No, you also have bone structure of the gods.
Vicki,
the gods.
Thank you so much.
But so Lucy, she's a sad act, right? And she's down bad for this guy.
She is.
And she's working Christmas Day, and he comes along. Of course, he's very busy and important, and he's also working Christmas Day because he's a businessman.
Yes.
And some thugs get at him on the platform.
Those darn thugs.
He falls onto the rails and he's knocked out. It's
and
not
he has
even
a perfectly placed
injury. Little cut. Just you
Beautiful.
wouldn't want to distract from his lips, which are
Of course
just
not.
gargantuan. And Sandra doesn't even think. She jumps onto the tracks. She's trying to wake him up. He's out cold, and she actually does a very clever thing, which I wouldn't have thought of. She rolls with him.
I know, because you would think dragging him.
Yeah.
But I'd say maybe in her training.
Yes, maybe they teach you that's what to do.
Lucy is very on the ball.
As you said, it was a very near miss. They both could have been mincemeat, but
completely.
They were not.
That aerial shot, it's like, whoa, that's quick.
And the loop in Chicago is a clutchy rail thing. It's clanking away. It's not very, like, you wouldn't, the man could see her, but he couldn't stop. Like, terrifying. Do you think you like this film so much because you love the Dart so much?
There could be a link.
Because you do love the Dart.
I do love the Dart.
Yeah.
There could be a bit of a link there.
Okay, I like that.
And then maybe I started to love it more when I have my Dart.
Your own Dart romance.
Could have been.
I love it. I'm going to steal that.
We're
one
uncovering here. Yes, do. Absolutely.
I'm going to.
Yes.
So when she gets to the hospital, she said, I was going to marry that man. And a nurse overhears her and thinks that she's his fiance, which you would.
It's so like, I mean, that man that wrote it, he used every, I'm going to say actually panto trope going. Because, of course someone overhears her say it just as he enters.
No, they didn't.
Like, it's so they don't try and be subtle.
No, not at all.
Up.
But there's no subtlety in a rom-com. It's meant to be, you're meant to just give in to the madness.
Totally.
But the nurse is like, that's his, I love the way they say fiance.
Yes.
That's his fiance. Let her in. So she's like, hi everyone. Then his family show up and they're so lovely. They're this like bustling family. And
bustling.
Yeah,
that
they just
is the
are.
word.
And they're all kind of familiar faces. You'd reckon there's the dad from Everybody Loves Raymond. There's the old lady from Mary Poppins.
Yeah, and she's I remember she died recently.
She died this year, aged 100.
Yes, and I looked up her IMDb and everything. She's done
so much.
Everything that you can think
Johns,
of.
she was a bit of a ledge. And then you'd recognise the others from like bit parts in Grey's Anatomy or Law and Order.
Exactly. And the mum, I love
her. She's in Grey's Anatomy.
She's so fat, great cheekbones.
Yeah, and her name is something funny. It's like Mikey or something, or Moki, something like that. Yeah, she's a mad bitch. But they're so lovely, and she just finds herself getting kind of swept up in them, and she doesn't want to tell them, oh no, I'm just some randomer who saved his life. Yeah. So she just kind of goes along with it.
Like if you were to be, but you should never be cynical watching a rom-com.
Never.
If you were to be a bit, you might think, no, she doesn't actually have a chance.
No, she doesn't.
It just all happens so quickly.
It would burst their bubble so thoroughly because it's Christmas Day.
Yeah.
She's told that the old lady played by Glynis Johns has a dodgy heart, so she's afraid to be like oh no, sorry, like the nurse is wrong in case she has a heart attack.
I'm a total stranger.
Dramatic,
sorry about that, lads.
but could happen.
Yeah.
So she's thinking of other people because she's a nice girl, is Lucy.
We
And
love
she
Lucy.
just kind of goes along with it. Now, pretty soon, Saul, the next door neighbour, rumbles her. He hears her talking to the unconscious Peter, and she's saying, oh, I just don't want to hurt them. And he's like, look, I'll go along with that. Like, I don't
yeah.
want to hurt them either. But he gives her a bit of a warning,
Bit
but
of
in
a
a
threat.
lovely way.
These people are very important
They're
to
his
me.
family.
Yeah. And you're kind of going, well, they let you in.
Yeah.
Let Lucy in.
And he feels her loneliness. Yeah. And of course, Christmas is the hardest
And we
time
never really
to be
know
lonely.
his circumstance as to how he became.
Yeah.
So you wonder, did he have a family that maybe he lost?
Yeah, he
and
says
he was
that
taken
he's their
in?
next door neighbour, and he says that he loved and lost. So I think, they just kind of adopted him, which is lovely.
Which is gorgeous.
But like, Christmas is the hardest time to be lonely for anybody,
yeah.
and I think he senses that she's kind of a lost soul.
Yeah.
So they kind of seem to get over the fact that Peter's in a coma pretty quickly. They're just like, he's alive.
He's grand. We're
He
gonna
might
have
be fine.
Christmas.
Yeah.
It's all fine.
So they're like, look, we all missed Christmas Day. We're gonna redo it without Peter. He's still asleep.
And those scenes where they have Christmas.
So in film studies,
Beauty.
they talk about the mise en scène, which is everything placed in the frame to evoke a mood, which is what we do here on You Had Me at Hello.
We have sweets.
Yeah, look.
Yes.
We're evoking the mise en scène.
Well, I have one.
You have one. That's a Bailey's chocolate.
This is for the Instagram too.
There you
I'm
go.
having one of Vicky's balls because it's Christmas.
I'm pleased to give you a Christmas
Here we
ball.
Oh, Vicky.
Oh, it tastes like Christmas.
Resplendent.
Fantastic.
Oh, chase me back. Thank you, Vicky.
I call Bailey's Christmas milk. And it's not Christmas until there's some Christmas milk in my belly. Yeah,
I'm
there
going to
you
have a
go.
glass of Christmas milk.
There you go.
I love it.
So they've really set it up beautifully in a very 90s Christmas way. Everything is red and green and tartan, which again, my outfit today was an homage.
Yes.
And they put a sock up for Lucy. They put a sock up for her.
It's gorgeous. Do you know who really annoys me?
Who?
Thank you.
This is when two things happen in the film, and they're two curveballs.
Yes.
One, Peter has a fiancée that the family don't know about. So
It sounds like a thundered wagon.
See you next
phone.
Tuesday.
I love it.
And she is in Europe.
Of course.
She's
Oh,
in
yeah.
Portugal, I think. And she's like, fine, I will marry you. And then you can hear her over the next answering machine message getting pissed off because he hasn't come back to
Why
her.
aren't you
and
ringing
said,
me?
thank God. Imagine accepting a proposal over the phone, over the answering machine.
I know.
Fine, I will marry
I
you.
would take it in any capacity, but
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
it was still, he still asked her.
he did, yeah.
But yeah, she is a bit of a weapon, so Peter did have a secret fiancée that his family didn't know about. So
Yeah.
it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Exactly. So I mean, he obviously doesn't care that much about your man.
No.
To have told his family.
I don't think he cares that much about his family, and I think that's the big problem.
That's the sad thing.
He's the kind of absent son, but they're all obsessed with him because he's successful and good looking, and they can brag about him.
Which is why I know you haven't mentioned him yet, but Jack
we'll mention Jack
feels
now.
that responsibility.
Yeah.
To
so Jack is
do the business.
Is the other curveball. So Jack is his brother, who's quite cute. I actually fancy Jack more.
I do. Now but my issue with Jack was that he was like trying to almost find Lucy out.
Yeah,
I was like, leave her alone.
He's suspicious of Lucy.
He is,
so
which
he
is
shows
great in
up
the long run.
because I think he and Peter are close enough. So
Yeah.
he's like, I would have known about this girl. I've never heard of her. And he turns up and she's asleep on the sofa, and they're like, it's Peter's fiance. And he's like, okay, weird. So he is suspicious. He also fancies her. So he can see that she's not a troll like the film tries to make us believe.
Yes.
She's a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
And he's kind of a bit disconcerted by our Lucy straight away. But yeah, you're right. He is onto her, and she knows that he's onto her.
Because she's maneuvered Saul.
Yeah.
Was it Saul?
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
Saul, yeah.
That's all fine. So this is the first.
Yeah.
And also,
she kind of fancies him too.
She does. And Saul was dithery. She
Yes.
get around him. She can't get around this fella.
That's true. This fella's got his full capacity.
He's in full, yes.
And
full
you're right.
wherewithal.
He feels the responsibility. He's taken over the family business even though he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
And he's kind of the nice, the good guy. He's not like a high flyer. Like Peter lives in this ridiculous 90s apartment. And
I love it all the
He's
same.
very absent, like
Yes.
where he's kind of in Jack is in the crux of the family.
Yeah, he's making the furniture. He's doing the whole lot.
So he's Bill Pullman, who I always get confused with Bill Paxman from Titanic. He's the sexy submarine guy in Titanic.
Yes.
Bill Pullman is the president in Independence Day. And he is also the hapless fiancé in Sleepless in Seattle, who gets dumped on Valentine's Day and is the soundest guy about it of all time. She's like, sorry, I'm in love with this guy I've never met. And he's like, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Fair enough,
So he
yeah.
always plays this kind of nice guy. He's also the dad in Casper. The friendly ghost. He's kind of hot in that
Do
as well. He wears
you
glasses.
run the Bill Pullman fan club?
Yes, I do.
You appear to
He's still an attractive man.
know a lot about him.
In these times.
Okay.
So I was rooting for Jack from the second
Yeah.
he shows up.
Totally.
So loads of calamity ensues now because there's so much. Some people know one thing, other people don't know anything, and then Peter wakes up.
And sorry, I think it's around this moment that my favourite line happens.
Oh, go on.
They're having dinner,
Yeah.
and the mother says twice, "These mashed potatoes are so creamy," and it is my favourite.
It's such a ma line.
Because she says it once, no one's listening to her.
Yeah.
She says it again, no one is listening once again. But it's so ma.
It is so
and
ma.
it just sums them up.
And they sound
You know,
delicious
They
as well.
do sound delicious.
Yeah, and the dinner looks great. You can see
and
why.
Sandy sits back and watches it all.
Like, if
take
you have no
place.
family and then suddenly you're embraced by this lovely family,
Of
like,
course
of
you're
course
gonna
you're going to
go
go
with
along
it.
with it. So then
Totally.
Peter wakes up and ruins everything. But they're able to
Feck's
tell
sake,
him
Peter.
that he has amnesia.
Yeah,
Because he doesn't
yeah.
remember his fiance.
Yes.
But he's like, I remember everything else. Like, I remember my job, my where I live. And they're like, no, you're definitely engaged to this girl. She said so. And he's like, oh, well then.
No, when you lay it out like that, like the family are thick.
Oh, no, they
They
are.
should have copped on in some way.
But then he has got a fiance. They just don't know about
That's
her.
true. That is true.
And she'll turn up later being a rollicking wagon. But yeah, he basically is told by Saul that Lucy's amazing and he'd be a putz if he didn't
Yes.
fall for her.
And I'd say he's looking at her going, grand.
Right. Yeah,
I'll take that.
I'll
Thank
take
you.
her.
She'll do.
A fine woman.
Yes.
Like I said, they kind of look like brother and sister, but that's
They do,
okay.
now that you say it.
They do. They both have prominent lips and a fine cheekbone.
Do you know what I love?
dark hair.
Sandra Bullock's nose.
Oh, she has the most perfect nose and perfect
perfection.
skin in Hollywood.
Yes.
I watched A Time to Kill the other night. Very different
I
film.
that up. Yeah.
Very different film. But she's literally glistening with sweat in that film because it's set in Mississippi in the summertime.
Ooh.
She has the most flawless skin. I just adore her. Which is why I'm like, why are you always trying to unpretty her
I
in
know.
these films?
I saw her in Lost City there with Channing
Oh, I
Tatum.
loved that film.
She looked utterly unbelievable.
Right-tastic.
His arse.
Oh, it's a great film. It's also a
But he's
rom-com.
laughing at He would all love his
He's
arse.
a fine arse.
He's a fine pair of them.
fettle of a man.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
It is and it's a rom-com. I would argue.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it is.
No,
it's an action adventure rom-com.
Yes, yes. So who was the villain in that again?
Harry Potter. Daniel Radcliffe.
That was a shocker.
Yeah.
He was brilliant.
It's a great film. Everyone, it's on Netflix. Watch it.
Yes,
it is
not just
very,
for
very
Channing's
good.
derriere.
Do you know what that would be great for? The period between Christmas and New Year when you've no idea what day it is.
Crimbo limbo.
Yeah, exactly. Twixmas,
Nothing
they call
like-
it.
Yes.
And when you don't care, you don't want to ever talk about Christmas ever again. You're all Christmased out.
But you're still happy to have the tins of sweets.
Absolutely.
And the
So,
leftover turkey.
Watch The Lost City then. Perfect.
yeah,
Oh,
you're so
that's
right.
exactly what I'm going to do. Joe tries to make me watch the Harry Potters every year, all of them.
I can't do it. Have you seen them all?
Oh, I have, yeah.
I saw the
It's
first
part of
two
my
or
marriage.
three. Really?
Yeah. No, the middle ones are very good. Very good.
Okay.
But, yeah, that's my Christmas, so happy days.
Well, like, you could be asking me for worse.
That's
At
true.
special times of the year.
That's true. I will
Things that could
submit.
be- You'd have to submit
I will submit to
we
Harry
won't
Potter.
speculate what they might be. Yes.
I love it. So the wagon shows up.
Yes, she does.
And she's Lucy's polar opposite. She's a working girl, not in the prostitute way, in the business way. She's got shoulder pads and a blunt bob, and she's thundering. And
you feel like
his
she should have
doorman,
a cell phone attached to her the whole time.
his
Yes.
doorman is afraid of her.
Yes.
He said she's really scary. So it comes up that Peter paid for her nose and boob jobs because he says he wants everything he ever gave her back. And she's like, what about my nose? And he's like, I'll take your boobs too. Iconic. Great line.
Stunning.
She calls him a one bald bastard because
and then they has to prove the testicle.
Lucy
Did
is
I just say testicle?
you
On a
did
Christmas
you
film
did on a
podcast.
Christmas.
Yay!
We've said balls enough.
We've
That
said
testicle
balls.
was
We have,
it
yes.
was
It's
inevitable.
actually quite magical, yes.
So there is a little tiny subplot where Lucy has to prove at one point that she is his fiance, and she said that she knows that he only has one bollock
From the tennis
incident. So yeah, obviously the fiance knows too. She calls him a one bald bastard.
Do you think he got a prosthetic?
No, obviously not. If there's a gap in there,
An
that
actual,
a visible.
Because you only need the one.
That's true.
Yeah, you do.
One kidney, one ball.
One ball.
Works.
Absolutely.
Maybe the ball works harder when there's only one.
Yes.
Do you know when there's gay lads on this podcast, it always devolves into talking about
balls?
genitalia? Yeah.
I'm not gay. I have a wife and kids. What are you talking about?
Are you Declan?
I'm hoping to get my
Are
hold
you?
off you. Like, I love.
You're actually really convincing, and
Go on.
I've always been slightly attracted to you. So
Give us a
stop
bit,
it.
will you?
Stop it.
You're like Martine McCutcheon. I knew that's what she wants to hear. That's what
A
she
Christmas
wants to hear.
film icon,
Yeah.
you mean?
Oh, yes,
Oh my
most
god,
definitely.
you're a difficult
Sorry,
man.
I'll do that. Come on. What were you saying?
Well,
Honey. Yes.
so let's get back on track here.
Back on track,
So
yes.
Sandra and Jack have been hanging out, Lucy and Jack,
Beautifully hanging out as
and they've been
well.
falling in love.
And skidding.
Skidding.
You know.
There's always
And they
like
purposely
car trouble.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always.
Always. So they've been. You can tell he's in love with her, and she's trying desperately not to be. But for
And they
some,
talk about the dad.
the
and
dad, yeah, she opens up to him in a
She
way
does,
that
she
you can
does.
tell she's been desperate to open up to somebody, and you're rooting for them. Like, imagine how terrible it would be to be in love with your in-law.
Oh, gosh.
Like, imagine you were in love with Vanessa's husband.
Oh, no.
That would be dreadful.
Oh, Jesus,
That'd
no.
be dreadful.
That'd be horrific.
Imagine every day you'd be like, "Oh, my beloved." I mean, it
John,
happens.
if you're listening,
If you read Take
don't
a
worry.
Break.
Don't worry at all.
If you read
You're
Take
safe.
a Break magazine, you'll know it does happen. So Lucy's so confused. She's like, fine, I'm just going to marry Peter because he's offering me a great life. He says it took a coma to wake me up. My family loves you. I might as well love you. How romantic.
I may as well.
I mean, the family like you, so we're halfway there. I mean, he's not wrong. So they go in typical rom-com tradition. The wedding is like the next day.
Of course,
because
yes.
it must be.
Yeah.
And Lucy is walking in her rig out. Jack is the best man.
Every gout is one way to describe it. Yes.
It's not very glam.
It's not great. No.
And Jack is up there and standing next to him as the best man, clearly madly in love with her. And she's walking up looking at him. And then she gets to the top and she says, look, I can't do this. I love you all so much. I've been acting the whole time. And they forgive her because she's so genuine.
Yeah.
And that's what Sandra
the
brings.
grand, how's the heart? Are
Yeah.
you okay? Checking everyone's all right.
I feel like that's what Sandra Bullock brings to a role.
Authenticity.
This authenticity and this humanism.
Yeah.
That she is just one of us.
Yes.
Just a spectacular one of us.
Even though she's like a supermodel.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's everything you want.
And Peter is so gormless that I'm wondering, was he gormless before? Because he's kind of just standing there going,
Yeah, because someone told me what's it.
yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't a clue.
Yeah, he hasn't
He
clue what's
hasn't
going
knows.
on. And then your one comes in and she's like, I want to stop this wedding. And he's like, then her husband comes in and he's like, she's already married, so don't listen to her. She can't stop the
I
wedding.
mean, there was no need for
There's so many
you
layers.
didn't have to add that in.
No.
But look, hey, it's an extra role for an actor. Great.
This is it.
Brilliant.
Exactly. That's you
Create
thinking
there.
with your hardest man.
Creating jobs. Brilliant.
I
Amazing.
love it. He has one line and it's a powerful one.
And he makes the most of it. There are no small parts.
He does.
Certainly not.
So Lucy basically legs it, and Jack is just like, what do I do? Like, and she does say she's in love with Jack as well. So not only is she dumping one brother, she's telling everyone she's in love with the other.
And then she's back to the apartment.
She's back
to
to
the
the
here we
apartment. She
go.
is. We never mentioned that she does live in this what's perceived to be a sad sack apartment. It looks pretty nice
Looks
to me.
lovely.
And she's a cat, of course.
Just
She
and
has
her
to.
the way she decorates her tree so delicately.
Yeah, and she has to drag the tree in a window because
Smash the.
yeah, because she's nobody to help her.
And
She's just really hammering home how alone she is.
Her gigantic sleeves, she can hide presents with them as well. They're just
Candy canes
literally
for everyone.
permanently gigantic sleeves. I love
I
it.
think that was a 90s thing,
Yeah,
though.
defo.
Slouchy, grunge.
She enjoyed it. But come here, nowadays she'd probably it'd be quite chic.
Yeah,
the way
I
she's
mean,
going on.
if they made this film nowadays, I think she wouldn't be a sad sack. Like
No.
she'd be seen. I think it was a real 90s thing that was like the Bridget Jones, like single women are
Also,
losers,
do you know what?
which is untrue.
Totally unrelated to her narrative, but what makes her even more of a sad case when she says to your man, the vendor in the street, the hot dog, the usual please. What?
Yeah.
What's your usual?
And
It's like,
as if she doesn't go to him every
he doesn't
single
even know
day.
her order.
And then her boss comes up and says the usual, and he knows his.
Yes.
The patriarchy. Poor Sandra, she's invisible.
Disgraceful.
Invisible. So I think she's very brave when she says that she's in love with Jack
Yeah.
in front of everybody.
Very much
it's,
so.
It's awkward as fuck. And then she goes home, she's taking down her Christmas tree. Her cat's looking at her. She's not sure what's going to happen to her, but she's a changed woman. She decides to hand in her notice. She's got her passport and she's going to go
See that world.
traveling.
Yeah.
Because this experience has changed her
Completely.
for the better. And of course, she's working her last shift at the Loop. And something lands in her tray. And it's a diamond from Jack.
Oh.
And Jack has brought the whole family.
And also, sorry, Jack has his transformation.
He does.
He's going to leave the family business.
He's told his dad,
He's done.
I don't want to work for you, Dad.
Yes.
I want to do my own thing.
So they both encourage each other's growth.
In a rom-com, people need to change along the way.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. Peter hasn't changed. He's still a
No.
gom. But the other two have. They've had a transformative experience because of each other. So he gives her a ring. She says yes. He comes in and kisses her in her booth. The booth in which she said that she sits in like veal. I sit in a booth like a veal.
I love it.
He goes in and mooches the face off her, and then the old people clap. And then in the outro, you see them on the train with a just married sign behind them. And she says,
and the best,
he took me to Florence.
and the best part,
What?
well, I
Go
love
on.
when
Oh,
a title is
go on,
referenced.
go on.
She says, Peter asked me when I fell in love with Jack. I told him it was while you were sleeping. Done.
What a movie.
Oh,
Honestly, what a movie.
yes.
Thanks, guys.
Yes.
I hope everyone here is going to go and watch it now.
It's your festive duty.
It is your festive duty.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
And like, I mean, no matter how many times you watch it,
No, it's like
you'll have it on in the background even.
Joe didn't want to watch it when I told him the synopsis, and I just feel like he's a
dare
fool.
he?
A fool.
Come
But
on.
Sandra's-
Has he watched it?
No. Fucker, I watched it on my
Well,
own.
you'll get him in
How
Crimbo
rude.
limbo.
Do you know what he said? He goes, you're going to be taking your notes anyway and pausing it loads. I said, fair, because I do
yeah.
thoroughly watch a film
But
for
when
this
you
podcast.
pause, he can go for a slash.
That's true.
He can get
Go
a
make me a
snack.
cup of tea.
He can make you
This is
make
true.
you tea.
This is true, James. Now,
Wow.
Sandra had a stellar career after this.
Oh.
She starred in huge rom-coms like Hope Floats, Practical Magic.
Imagine having had a resurgence this year.
It really
Didn't
has,
it?
because TikTok loves
Witch
their
Talk.
hair, which is I get it. The Proposal,
Yeah.
The Lost City, which we've discussed, and The Lake House, which is kind of a supernatural one with
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
She's just a legend.
My favourite of hers in recent years, The Heat, with Melissa McCarthy.
Liz McCarthy, yeah, very, very good.
It
I mean,
is
she's an
gold.
absolute lash. She hasn't aged a day.
No.
Joe loves her.
She's
Fancies
60
the whole
now,
lot of her.
isn't she?
Yeah, she's 60. Wow. And her husband or her partner died recently.
I saw that.
And he was a lash as well.
Oh.
Very sad. Tell us about your second film.
My second film, 2005 or 6? 2006. It is everything that I want from a Christmas film. It is hopeful.
Yeah.
Very hopeful.
Yeah.
And I'm a single Sally, so these movies are made for me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So every year when I see the two females in particular, their performance, I get hope. I say anything can happen.
Anything could
Anything's
happen.
possible.
Especially at your lowest ebb.
Exactly. It is utterly gorgeous. It could have been jarring with the different locations, but it's not.
What is it,
The
James? Tell
transitions.
us.
It is Vicki Notaro. What is it? What do you know? It is The Holiday.
The Holiday!
With Cameron,
Yay!
Kate, Jude and Jack.
So by Nancy Myers, one of my all-time faves.
You are
I'm a Nancy Myers fan. To the point where
Totally.
I included her in my novel, Reality
Apparently
Check.
so. And even when you put up your house,
Oh yeah,
you're
like
emulating Nancy.
nothing has inspired me more visually or creatively than two women, Nancy Myers and Nora Ephron. And Nancy more so for the visuals, because every one of her films we were talking about mise en scène, mise en scène.
My goodness.
The coziest, most warm, gorgeous, elaborate, fabulous houses of all time.
And here's the thing: the
In all
fact
of them.
that she makes what could be a totally clinical, massive LA
Yeah.
mansion cozy.
Warm, yeah. Because you know what she does?
How?
That they never use on HGTV because they obviously get in the way. Curtains. She loves a curtain. She loves a cushion. She loves a blanket.
Yes.
She is the queen of cozy season.
What was the Meryl Streep film she did as well?
It's complicated. That kitchen,
Does she?
I dream of it.
It's a coffee.
She has
thing,
there's a pastry shop where she makes croissants.
I want to live there.
So Nancy's big films are Father of the Bride.
Oh.
Honestly, probably one of my top 5 films of all time. Set in Pasadena, California, where I was last year, and really want to live there. Well, not currently, but
Well,
maybe in a few
eventually,
years.
yes,
yeah, maybe in
yeah.
a few years. She did The Parent Trap with 2 Lindsay Lohans. She did Something's Gotta Give with Diane Keaton and Jack Nicholson. She does a good oldie rom-com.
Which is great.
Brilliant.
Because she's using the amazing talent
Yeah.
that might be cast aside when they
Yeah.
turn fucking 50 or something. It's like, oh, see you later.
That in particular, it's complicated, and Something's Gotta Give. They're both fucking great films as well.
Brilliant.
And
yeah.
she manages to make the Hamptons, which you would think in summertime would be quite like clinical and just not very nice. She manages to make it look really cozy still. And Diane Keaton loves wearing white polo necks even though it's summertime.
Yes.
Oh,
Why shouldn't she?
fabulous. Why
Yes.
shouldn't she? Why shouldn't she? So The Holiday, it's undoubtedly a Christmas film. but with a twist, because it's actually a film about two single lonely women more so than it is about Christmas. Christmas is just the setting.
Yes.
And
yes.
she's very smart. Everyone who writes songs or films should do a Christmas one because there's a paycheck every year, right?
The annual,
Cliff Richards lives off that fucking mistletoe and wine.
Mariah
is the patron saint
completely
of Christmas.
Yes.
So to me, it's a very good thing to do.
Very much so.
So it is. She's just the creator of like cozy chic coastal grandmother at Christmas.
Yes.
Which is
that's a
very
lot of boxes
hard to
tick.
do. Yeah.
She does it so well.
It's about two single women. They're swapping homes in Surrey and Los Angeles at their lowest ebb. So they've both been romantically, as they used to say in Jane Austen's days, they've been disappointed.
Oh.
They've both, one of them has a cheating partner. The other one, her kind of situationship has got engaged. So she's devastated. So they want to try something a bit different. So Kate Winslet is in her sad sack era in this film.
Yeah.
Even though she's
breathtaking
and clever and warm and funny and all of those things, but a bad man has made her feel bad about herself. And Cameron Diaz is kind of an emotionally unavailable career woman, and
with the best wardrobe in all of cinematic history.
So let's talk about the wardrobe. So Kate, I feel they dowdy up.
They do.
They give her greasy hair.
Yeah.
Because she has to eventually fall for Jack Black, and they need that to be convincing.
Yes, and she's a bit stuffy or whatever. But I had said, I think we said it beforehand, somehow Nancy Meyers, even though she's in Los Angeles, they make her look cozy.
They do, and it's because of the Santa Ana winds.
Yes.
They're blowing.
So they can justify
her wearing
cotton cashmere, all
a
her
pashmina.
Bits. Oh.
There's a couple of bits where she's wearing a pashmina. They should bring them back.
And she'll go outside and she'll rustle it over the shoulders. What's going on?
Because it's LA, but it's
her wardrobe is amazing.
She wears a lovely vest at one point that makes her look fabulous.
Her dress when she goes to the awards ceremony,
the black dress, stunning,
unbelievable.
But Cameron's outfits, I mean, why does a woman from LA own 14 fabulous coats?
Yeah, and how does she get them when she's flying that day?
Were they in storage?
Who knows?
But they're all
You need
stunning.
to leave your aesthetic and fashion disposition at the door. Forget it.
Just go along with it.
It's fine.
So Cameron, they all actually, I think, look the best they've ever looked. Jude Law looks.
Oh my gosh.
Like, we'll get to him in a minute. Jesus Christ. I don't even fancy him, but my God, in this film, he's
and the way he, I think, did he purposely enhance his already slight sibilant lisp? I feel like he does it more.
He's a geeky book editor.
Yeah, I think he's a bit more.
Interesting. He definitely enhances his tan.
1000%.
It's December and he is mahog.
And come here, you'd ride Jack Black.
Oh, no, I wouldn't. I have to say, we're going to get into this.
Oh, I think I would.
Would you?
The way he plays,
I can see you and Jack Black as a couple.
Thank you. He tinkles those keyboards.
He does tinkle the ivory. So,
imagine him tinkling you.
So no, I said no. I don't like that.
Maybe.
No.
We'll edit that bit out.
Yeah, we'll edit. No, we'll keep it in. I can have my
you can tinkle your tissues. Tishy Totaro.
Titania Totaro. That's a great stage name. Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, I'm not into him. So Nancy Meyers wrote the film with Kate Winslet.
You all thinking of Vicky's tits?
Stop it. Sure, when isn't
Think of
everyone?
Mine. Look, that's...
What?
We could do a movie together.
What would it be called?
Tits.
Perfect.
Titsmas.
Sign me up. Titsmas. Happy Titsmas. Oh my God, I'm ringing Netflix. I'm ringing Netflix.
Start writing tonight. I'll get the costumes.
We'll get Lindsay Lohan to play a role.
She'll do it.
She'll do it. She'll do anything for a check.
Especially if it's in Ireland.
And you know what? She appears in this film very briefly. Do you remember where?
She's her and James Franco. Or
yes.
the actors in the trailer.
Cameron Diaz's Amanda is a trailer maker, which is a career that I always wanted.
And such a weirdly specific job to choose for her, but it works.
It works
so
because
well.
They actually write the whole script around it to the point where she's thinking of herself in movie trailers.
And isn't the narrator Hal something really famous?
Really famous for doing those in a world where, he's like, Amanda can't cry. It's absolutely brilliant.
It's so good.
So she's basically, Amanda has found out her fella's cheating, but she can't even cry about it because she's so emotionally repressed.
And I think as well, he is one of a string of fellas that have just rotted her the last while.
He says to her, you never make things work.
She's not even surprised.
No.
She's like, of course you've done it again.
And she's trying to cry, but instead of getting tears, she's getting an esophageal spasm, which I've never experienced because I'm a great crier.
I'm a crier.
Yeah, I'm a good crier.
I bawl. Well, while you were sleeping, obviously. Yeah. And then when we'll get to eventually, but Kate Winslet, when your man says he's engaged in the office, and her speech about you know, you eventually crawl back the parts of you
when
that
she's
have
telling
broken
Jack
away.
Black. Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Wow. No, it's amazing.
She is unbelievable.
Yeah. So Lindsay Lohan appears as a favour to Nancy Myers.
Yeah, because she was in the Parent Trap,
in
of course.
one of Amanda's trailers, and honestly,
looking fab.
I don't know if maybe Sean, our film guru, can tell us, but I don't know if that's a real job or if the film editor just makes a trailer.
What's the story?
It is a real job. Okay, I need to get on Final Cut Pro because that has always been my dream job. Can you imagine? I'd be really good at it.
You're good at nitpicking the
I'd
bits
be a
that
really
are
good
people want to see.
director, I think, because I'm very decisive. I have a vision. I think, honestly, studied film in college.
Would you do a rom-com?
Absolutely. Like
could do it.
I'm going to try and adapt my 2 novels.
I was going to say, write
So when
a script around them.
when I present Happy Titsmas to Netflix,
Yes.
I'll be like, lads, I've 2 others.
Yeah. Well, I've one shoot and I've another shoot. Yes.
Call
Yes,
Lindsay. Call Lindsay. We love shooting here. We're shooting Wicklow. Let's roll. Honestly, this is going to be the making of us. I would be a good director.
Because do you know what it reminds me of? When Jade from Little Mix started writing her own pop music. She's like a student of pop music. She loves it so much.
This is it.
Right,
Right, we're doing it. We're doing it.
Cut the podcast.
2025 New Year's resolutions. You heard them here first. So it also has a stellar ensemble cast, right? So we've mentioned Cameron, Kate, Jude, and Jack. There's a rom-com stalwart.
Yes.
Catherine Hahn, who is very famous now. She's in Agatha All Along.
Course.
She's her own star. But for a long time, she was a supporting act in as the friend.
And Bad Moms.
Bad Moms
Christmas.
It's
So
probably one of
good.
the best Christmas films.
Yeah.
Christine Baranski in that
Oh
film.
my God. Have some gift certificates. Like, here's some iPods. She won't hug her grandkids, but she'll give them a house.
Honestly, it's honestly one of the best Christmas films of them all, which is shocking.
And you know what? It's really quick.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it's a
see
quick
that.
watch.
Yeah.
And they filmed it, like, it came out a year after
Bad Moms.
So there was a quick old
I mean,
turnaround.
I'd like to see Christmas versions of loads of comedies.
Yes.
Like, just do it, lads. What's stopping you?
I would
it's
like
a gold mine.
a Christmas sister act.
Oh,
Wouldn't that
Sister
be
Mary
beautiful?
Clarence.
She'd be fantastic.
I will follow him. Oh my God. Sorry, we're having too many good ideas here.
sorry, we're totally
honestly, we're brilliant.
brainstorming.
John Krasinski, who is in my top 5, I have to say.
I don't
Perhaps
blame you.
not in this era, which is his Jim from The Office era. His era now, he's in my top 5.
Oh, who's he married to again?
Outrageous. Emily Blunt.
Yes.
And
they seem so happy.
her sister is married to Stanley Tucci. Imagine going out for dinner with those 4.
Oh my God.
Imagine
the
wipe
dream.
swapping with those 4.
Would Stanley Tucci be in your top 5?
No, but I can appreciate him.
Yeah.
I can appreciate a fabulous man. I thought he was gay for the longest time.
So did I.
Because of Devil Wears Prada.
Yes.
He's always playing gay lads. So
Completely.
You know.
There we go.
But look, I do. I have a tendency to fall in love with gay men.
You
so
do.
I do.
Jonathan
Groff,
yes.
my honey bear, who is actually in a new rom-com called A Nice Indian Boy that's coming out soon and getting rave reviews.
Oh,
so
is it a gay rom-com? Or
gay rom-com. Gay rom-com. We'll be going to that.
Fantastic.
There are cameos by, like I said, Lindsay Lohan and also Dustin Hoffman.
Great scene.
So this is apparently it just happened because he was in the neighbourhood.
Now, what do you think of that?
I agree. I believe it.
Do you?
Yeah, because LA's
I
like that.
suppose, yeah. I've never been to
They're
LA,
in-
but
they're in Brentwood.
They do say that you wouldn't know who you'd walk into. Like.
Yeah, I mean, so the scene is that Jack Black has taken poor, sad Kate Winslet to the video shop because he's a movie composer. Another amazing job, and he wants to educate her on some of the best scores of all time. Now this scene does get my back up a little bit because I hate when he sings. He's going like doodly doodly doodly. No,
I am torn on this.
This is why I wouldn't let him tiddle me doodies.
I'm torn on this. I get it when he's at the piano.
Yes,
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Stop reciting every. It's a bit
much,
isn't it?
And apparently that scene was improvised, so I'd say she was dying inside.
I'd say
I'd say she was like,
Because
shut
she
up.
seems like someone who'd be like, wrap
She's
it up,
English,
will you?
like she's not
She
here
knows
for
the
this,
score.
Jack. And we know he's musical, we get it.
Yeah.
So Nancy Myers had seen him in School of Rock.
So Jimmy Fallon auditioned.
He did.
For it.
And Robert Downey Jr. auditioned for Jude's part. Now,
No.
that would have been a different film altogether.
Too sexy.
Just too short. I'm not gonna lie. Cameron Diaz is a very tall woman.
Is Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, he wears
Robert Downey
lifts. He's from the Tom Cruise school of wearing lifts.
Jude is probably 5'11", 6".
Yeah. No, I'd say Jude's a 6 footer.
6 foot.
Yeah.
Cameron's what, 5'9", 10"?
Yeah, she was a model, so she's a tall woman.
Yeah.
Like Cameron and Jude look so disgustingly good together in this film. Like it's sickening. They're both perfect.
I know we haven't even gone through the plot yet.
No,
but
we don't need to.
When he
The plot doesn't matter.
The plot does not exist. The scene when she says she's going to go home.
Yes.
And he
so
arrives.
she's arrived in. We'll fill it in slightly.
Yeah,
she's arrived in Surrey.
Kate and Cameron swapped
houses.
Yes.
She's
a lot of trust there.
Cameron,
by the way.
Amanda.
That could be any site.
Here's the weirdest part. Kate, as Iris, has left her dog
I know.
in the care of this stranger.
Yeah. Yes.
I would not leave my Jacko in the care of
Yeah, that
anyone,
is a bit
let alone
random.
some random woman.
And also doesn't even tell her brother Jude Law.
Yeah, she just fecks up. Her heart is so broken. There's a very dark part where Kate Winslet turns on the gas cooker and contemplates. Well, she does inhale the gas and then gets interrupted and breathes out the window and says "low point" and smacks herself in the face.
Yeah.
Very dark.
It actually is quite
But that
dark,
shows
you
how
think of it.
devastated she is.
Yeah,
So
may not, if it was made now.
I don't think that
you put
they
it in.
keep that in. They
No.
just have her crying a bit more.
Yes,
So
yes.
they've swapped houses. Cameron is in Kate's cottage and she's decided that it's a shithole.
Straight away.
Compared to her own gaff,
Yeah,
which
no,
is...
Kate's cottage is
It's stunning.
beautiful.
And it does not exist in real life.
It's just a facade.
It's a
isn't it, the
facade
front?
that they built. It's based on a
And
real place.
Was it filmed in the Cotswolds?
It was, but it's
Yeah.
set in Surrey.
Yes.
And then they filmed all the interiors on a soundstage. So sorry, guys, the house does not exist.
Sorry, the interiors of Kate's house.
Yes.
But Cameron's house.
Cameron's house
was an
exists
actual
because
house.
it's so
Yes.
big, the whole crew could fit in there.
Yes,
But she's
yeah.
like, what am I going to do in this sleepy English town? She's Jude Law's knocked on her door in the middle of the night. They've had a ride.
Yeah.
And she's like, right, I'm out of here.
Sorry, the scene where she goes shopping to get the food. She's a food shop.
Yeah.
It's my dream. All the expensive
dream.
treats that you wouldn't buy.
She said before she leaves, I just want to eat carbs and not kill myself.
Yes.
And I was like, God, live a little,
She
girl.
lashes them in.
Lashes the pasta in.
Drinks the wine as she's going around.
Yeah, buy some chocolate eggs.
And you're one of the chill. You having a party?
She's like,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
So my lecturer in college used to shite on about how Cameron Diaz he obviously really fancied her. He's like, she's the second coming of Katharine Hepburn. She's the best comic actress we have today. I don't agree. I think she's good.
I don't think she's the best comic actress.
No, she's not Sandra Bullock.
No.
I mean, she's quite good physically because when Jude shows up at the door and she's trying to get herself together,
Yes.
she's quite good at that.
And I think the humour is in her height as well because
Yeah.
she's so gangly.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything's kind of moving around a bit. So I can see that.
Yeah.
She's really the best one now.
So the bit you were talking about is when they've slept together and she's meant to be leaving the next day.
And he says to her, please don't leave. If you tomorrow night I'm meeting some friends and drinks if you want to meet me. So she's in a beautiful cozy
A
pub.
teal
What
jumper.
would be the Dublin equivalent?
Where it has a snug, maybe Walsh's and Stony Batter.
Okay. Lovely.
I'm just obsessed with Stony Batter.
Get that in, absolutely.
Yeah.
But he arrives in and she's sitting there and she looks.
She's wearing a teal
Is it off the shoulder?
cashmere, kind of a Bardot
And she
style.
has her glass. And is the song
The song
Let
is
Go,
Let Go, Let Go.
that song? And also, sorry, I meant to
Oh,
say this later on. Just for now, Imogen Heap.
yeah, there's
That's
two
in it
Imogen
later.
Heap songs in it.
Sorry, Let Go was
Yeah, yeah.
when I watched that first, I listened to them on repeat.
It's so mid-noughties because
It's
there's
so good.
also Mr. Brightside by the Killers.
Yes! Oh, I
which
like when she
Cameron
dances
is
around
singing
that.
that
Yeah.
drunkenly and
That is
badly.
good. And usually that could be annoying, but she does it well.
No, she does it well.
Yeah.
No, she's good. She is a good comic actress. I just don't think she's the second coming of fucking Katharine Hepburn.
She also, no, I'm sure, obviously, abundant lighting, but she looks
Oh,
phenomenal.
no, like her and Jude look sickeningly good
I
together.
remember around that time reading interviews, and she said, because she suffers with her skin, and she said that she sometimes only washes her face in Evian.
Really?
That's all she can
Imagine
trust.
that. Even Aldi mineral water would be a stretch for me. Like,
Evian.
yeah, Evian.
Well, it's
Evian.
page off. She looks
Yeah, she
real.
looks unbelievable, and so they're sickeningly good looking together.
Mm.
They're like instantly falling in love. They're mad about each other. Girls keep ringing him. Sophie and Olivia keep ringing him, and she's like, "Oh, he's a fuck boy." And he said to her, very upfront, he's like, "Look, my life's really complicated. It's a good job you're not sticking around. I'm a total fuck boy."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Right, grand," but she does stick around, and they're evidently in love.
Oh.
She goes to surprise him.
And also, sorry, just to go back to the fashion, she rocks up with her bag of Jamaican dinner, baguettes, cheese, her outfit. Unbelievable.
Every Nancy Myers like shopping bag
Yes.
is perfection. It's like a brown
It's like
bag
stuffed at the
with
bottom,
baguettes at
and
the
then
top
a
and
few
herbs.
bits. Yes.
Stunning. Yeah, she arrives dressed up to the nines.
Oh.
He opens the door and he's shifty, and she's like, "What's going on?" And then she's like, "You're not alone." And she's like, "No, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine." And two little girls appear. He has two little girls.
We were saying kids rot you something.
No, I love these
They're
two.
So cute.
They're so cute. They
They're
have
amazing.
cute little speech impediments, and they're like, "I love you. You look like a princess." They're very sweet.
They're gorgeous. They are.
I don't blame her liking them. Like, she likes them straight away.
She does.
And she finds it. She said to him, "Are you married?" And he said, "I'm WIDOOWER."
And when the kids invite her up to their little tent.
I mean, dreamy situation. Like the house, everything just looks perfect.
I always
that's
want
what
to
you
know
want.
as well in these movies how they all. Well, we know how Cameron did. How did they all get the mortgage approval?
this is it. Well,
I
no,
mean,
well.
the gaffes
Jude
are unreal.
says, so Jude and whose name is Graham. I hate how American people say Graham. So Graham and Iris are brother and sister.
Yes.
And their parents, his mom was a book editor. When book editors made a lot of money.
Yeah,
so
that's where they're getting it from.
and also they're not in like central London. They're in like
that's true.
the countryside. But
Yeah.
yes, you're right. They always I mean, they don't have the housing issues we have over here. They throw a mortgage at you in the States
my goodness
and in
me.
England.
Yes.
So yes, she realizes that he's a widower and he has 2 little girls.
Very
but
sad. she's
she's even more enchanted. She's
She
like,
is.
why didn't you tell me? And he's like, because we were a fling. I don't have to tell you these things.
Yeah.
But they're like balls deep in love now.
We said balls again.
Balls again. I'm sorry. I didn't know how else to describe it.
Tits deep.
I could have said madly in love, but I went for balls deep.
They are.
But they are.
Bollock deep.
I find for the first 2/3 of the film, their story much more interesting than Kate's. Because Kate's in LA, she's having a great time.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Jack Black he's not really, like she thinks he's a nice guy.
The start of, you're so right actually, Vicky. The start of it, when it goes back to LA, I was like,
Here's your one. Yeah.
But the second the neighbour comes in.
Yes. So there's an amazing C plot, which is the old
the
man.
heart of the film.
Yeah. Oh,
I think
absolutely.
It's
So-
gorgeous.
Eli Wallach, to me, I would know him from Godfather 3.
Wow.
Don Altabello.
There you go.
He's a great lad. And he looked ancient in that as well. And that was a good 15 years
He
earlier.
was 90.
He was 90 in it, yeah. He was in The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. So he's a Western actor.
Okay.
But he's basically been in Hollywood forever.
Yeah.
He died in like 2018.
Wow.
Lovely man. And he's the next door neighbour. Kate is helping him out. She discovers he's an Oscar winning screenwriter.
Huge.
He could write Happy Titsmas if he was still with us.
Maybe he
Beyond the
sorry,
grave,
he didn't.
inspire us.
Not even he would have had that idea.
No, that's true. That's right.
We're so exclusive.
So, and copyright.
Yeah, straight
Copyright.
away. Yes.
So she finds out he's this Oscar-winning screenwriter, and the Writers Guild of America want to honor him, and he's too like insular and shy, and
Yeah,
he feels like he's not
completely
fit
cut
enough.
off from the world. And his wife passed.
His wife
as
has
well.
passed, and he adored her, and he said she had guts and gumption.
Oh, gumption.
And he's just, old people get me in the solar plexus. Like I can't cope with an old person. Like in the Notebook,
Totally.
can't cope. It's too, especially when they've loved so powerfully all their lives.
And then they're alone.
Oh, Jesus. And he has his little tray of food and his little armchair, and he gets it.
And as well, like obviously, it shouldn't have been CG, but like there's never an iota
of him being a perv.
Yeah.
No, there's not. She's
never.
just like this nice
it's
English
platonic.
girl.
It's like a father and daughter kind of
But
relationship.
she's kind of, her and Jack are just kind of like, Jack has a mean girlfriend who's cheating on him. She's just kind of, they're kind of like plodding along.
It's actually nice, but like as well, even as boring as it is, Kate just needs a friend.
Yeah, she
and that's
does.
what he is. But
Then
she's lovely.
The baddie shows up at the door. Jasper. I read on the internet, which may or may not be true, that Jasper and Iris, Kate and your man, I think his name is Rufus.
Yeah.
Rufus in real life had a thing.
Go away.
Before this,
I mean,
years and
he's
years ago.
attractive.
I think he's probably like the sexiest
He
one.
is. He's good looking.
Even though he's an bollocks.
And also, I love when she does her realization with him
Yeah.
that she's free.
So
She's like,
he's
"Does she do
shown
that?"
up.
Oh,
Yeah.
like,
He's shown
oh.
up and said, I miss you. And she's taken in because she loves him.
I mean, he's flown across
He's
the
flown
world.
across the world to
Yeah,
be like-
at Christmas.
But then it comes out in the wash that he hasn't actually broken up with his fiance. He's still getting married. He just,
wants
he
his
missed
whole-
her. He wants a little side piece.
Yeah.
And I mean, she'd been content to be his little side piece. He'd been
and-
giving her scraps
Yes.
and she'd been loving it. But this trip has given her gumption.
He is the ultimate gaslighter.
He is. He's such.
Like,
He's the
manipulator.
fuck boy. Jude Law is just a devastated widower.
Yeah.
Having his way with the local women.
Who happens to somehow fall into people's beds.
Yeah,
You know,
I
it's-
mean, and you'd let him.
You won't.
Let him.
Of course.
The first time you see him in this film, he's giving the glad eye to some stranger in the pub, and you totally get it.
Of course.
You're like,
But Jude, like, actually, whatever with the girls, Jude's clothes are.
stunning.
It's like Marks and Spencer's Massimo Dutti combined.
Perfect. He
All
wears
at once.
a little shirt and a little jumper and then a layered jacket, and
So
he just
delicate.
looks, and his hair is like brushing his collar.
And Jack's fashion is nice too.
You're trying to push Jack on me,
I
and I'm not
am.
having him. I'm sorry. He needs some facial
trying-
hair first
he-
of all.
Does Jack not have facial?
No, he's very clean cut in this, and it bothers me. So basically, Nancy Morris had seen him in School of Rock and thought that he was a convincing romantic hero.
Yeah, okay.
I just feel sorry for Kate Winslet that she gets lumbered with him. I'm not going to lie.
I know.
I'm not going to lie.
But like, would you rather him or Jimmy Fallon?
Jimmy Fallon.
Really?
I like Jimmy Fallon because I feel like we could sing together.
True.
Like show tunes.
And he wouldn't be doing do do do.
No,
do, do, do. Yeah.
we'd be defying gravity,
Yeah,
the pair
of
of us.
course.
You know?
Of course.
I like Jimmy Fallon as well. People hate him.
I don't mind.
I enjoy him.
But I think at the time in Hollywood as well, Jack Black was bigger.
He was.
Like,
he was.
He was the
I'm not
bigger pole.
anti-Jack Black.
No, of course.
I just feel like Kate could have done a bit better. You know?
I know. But you see, it wasn't about the Mickey she was
no,
going to get.
it's the companionship. You're correct.
And also the journey, her own personal journey.
Yeah.
So whatever Mickey she gets at the end is...
She's happy for it.
Man,
Yeah.
Mickey. Yeah, we like
Same.
to Mickey, yes. Whatever she gets at the end, doesn't really matter.
Well,
It's
they're
about
madly
how she
enough by
gets
the
there.
end.
They are.
So they go to the old man's
Ceremony.
Writers Guild ceremony.
Oh, but he runs and gives a little peck.
Yeah, and he says to her, now, he annoys me throughout with his facial features. He's like this, you look beautiful. Now,
Yeah, it
podcast
is
people
actually a
won't.
bit.
You can tune into YouTube to see what facial
Yeah,
expression
no,
I just
you're
made.
right. Yeah, you're right.
But he's literally gurning at her.
He
You look
is.
beautiful.
And sorry, also a moment for his wagon of a girlfriend.
Yeah, wagon. Now, she was a bit of a hot girl in the noughties. Shannon Sussman.
I recognise the name.
She is the girl that has the orgasm in 40 days and 40 nights from your man running a flower up and down her. Do you not remember that scene?
I've never seen it.
Oh, Josh Hartnett, right. So he's abstaining. Americans are weird about this. He's like, I can't have sex for a whole 40 days. This is terrible, right?
I
mean...
try for 3 years.
Try 40
I closed
years.
Like, well, nothing's there. It's just a cavity. Sorry, guys.
But he has this.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
I've closed
You're welcome.
over.
Christmas dinner. Anyway. Stuffing?
But
Anyone?
he has basically, Josh Hartnett meets this bird. They can't have sex, but he runs a flower around her body erotically.
And she
has a big one. Yeah.
Oh,
So she
is
was
she putting it
famous
on?
for that. I don't think so. I think she's very ticklish.
Jesus, if that's
He
the
doesn't
case.
even touch her Mary. Like he's just just rubbing her with the flower. It's ridiculous.
Does he rub her titties with the flower?
Not really. No, not in any proper way.
Like,
Might have
there's
skimmed
no
them a little
nipple.
bit, but she's loving it anyway. So that's to me, she's always that girl. But I remember her being like the cool alternative hot girl of the noughties. I think she was
And I mean, like, and you wouldn't put her with Jack Black.
absolutely
ever.
not. You're like at one point he refers to her as my Maggie, and you can see her visibly recoiling.
Was she with him because of his
connections.
movie
So she's
position?
a wannabe actress. He's a film score composer. So she's cheating on him. And when she tries to apologise, I'm like, why? But that's why.
Awful performance as well, but she
Dreadful.
apologised.
Dreadful.
So,
Really, really
like,
bad.
You think she was told?
Yeah,
Maybe
be a bit
you're meant to be a
detached.
crap actress,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
It was a bit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So the music in the film is mostly fabulous Christmas songs.
Yes.
Which is wonderful. There's Last Christmas, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, Winter Wonderland. But like we said, there's some 90s hits like Mr. Brightside, Let Go, and Are You Gonna Be My Girl? Fucking, that brings me right back.
It's just. I'm trying. Eamon Dorrans.
Crawdaddy for me.
Crawdaddy.
Antics at Crawdaddy, yeah.
I used to love Crawdaddy. Did you ever go to see you next Tuesday on a Tuesday?
No, I wasn't gay enough
And
back then.
it's-
I wasn't playing. You know, I was hiding my true
You were looking
gay
for Mickey.
self. Yeah,
And
yeah.
actual Mickey,
That's
like,
exactly
yes,
it. I was.
yes, of
I was
course.
on the prowl.
You were going to
I hadn't
G2.
let my true self come out.
Yes.
You know. Now I'm a settled
G2,
woman.
Coppers.
Yeah. Ugh, stop the palace.
Everly.
The palace.
The Palace.
That was my hunting
Did you ever go
ground.
to Live Venue?
No, I'm too.
north side.
You were too north side. The
Yeah.
furthest north side. I mentioned this story briefly earlier. The furthest north side I went was Barcode.
Oh, I love Barcode.
And who worked in Barcode at the time?
Who?
Joe.
Stop.
Swear to God.
And which is cross paths.
I don't know. I feel like I probably ordered a West Coast cooler and vodka from them.
Yeah.
Mixed them together like
Oh,
the
what a
mad
mix
bitch
that
that I
was.
was.
I-
And what was the soundtrack to that nightclub? Mr. Brightside. They used to play it to get you out.
And you used to, you had to walk by a
Through
pool,
the swimming
a
pool. And the
Yes.
stench of chlorine. Anyone that
Yes.
ever went to Barcode, it's now just a full gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
There you
quite
go.
sobering after the night out.
Yeah,
The chlorine
well,
would
you
wake you up
could
a
buy
bit.
some chips upstairs as well. It was a great
Yes, you
place. Bring
could.
back Barcode. So let's talk about some of the quotes. So at one point, Cameron Diaz goes in a rant about severe stress making women age prematurely. Like, what
ain't
were the
wrong.
naughties like? She looks like a feckin' fetus.
Yeah.
Shut up, like.
I know.
But she's a very stressed woman because she hasn't emotionally allowed herself to let loose.
She hasn't.
Yeah. So what happens is she starts to cry when she's leaving Jude Law in the back of the car, and it's the first time she's cried since her father left her mother when she was 15 years old.
It's a beautiful cry as
So
well.
she says, "Let me out of this car and come back." And she goes back to the cottage, and he's there also whinging. So that's it.
Now his whinge at that point is
It's
a
a
bit
bit soppy. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah.
But anyway, it's okay.
Sure, look, he's a man showing emotion. We'll
He
allow.
is. He is.
But you get the feeling that they are mad about each other because their situation is so awkward. She lives in Los Angeles, he lives in London. She has her trailer making business, he has 2 children. You're like, who's going to move? And the film leaves that wide open.
Wasn't there, well, there's always talk, but wasn't there
There was
potential
talk of a sequel.
rumours?
Yeah, but like, what are they going to do? So at the end, they're all together. So Graham's sister Iris, Kate Winslet, is with Jack Black. They've gone to London. It's New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
They're dancing around to that song. Joe hates that dance that Jude Law does. He kind of saunters in like this with his shoulders,
And
it makes Joe leave the room.
is it Cameron or Jack that has the 2
Oh,
glasses?
they're both doing finger guns.
The finger guns are very
honestly
cringe.
very embarrassing.
They
and why
are.
are they? There's only the 4 of them and the 2 kids. Why are they all dancing around the house?
I know. No, in the same breath,
They're not even drunk.
I do like that we do see them together.
Yeah, so do I.
It is good.
Because it's the first time you see Kate and Cameron together and they hug and you're like, are they
And
going to
they
be
thank each
sisters-in-law?
other.
Yeah, it's nice. But then, like, people love to ruin films, especially Christmas films like Love Actually and The Holiday. They're like, this would never have worked out on the internet. And you're like...
do you think they would have all moved to UK?
I think at the time they would have all moved to LA.
I think so.
But I think now they'd be back.
Yeah.
I think now they'd have...
Because at the time, Kate doesn't
She works in a newspaper.
Which can be transferable.
Yeah, but also a classic rom-com job. She writes about the weddings in the newspaper. She works for the
course.
Telegraph.
Do you know what I love? The aesthetic of Nancy Meyer, speaking of, their office Christmas party.
The newspaper office.
I love it.
I can attest that newspaper offices do not look
No,
like that.
no.
At all.
And they're having their
It's
Christmas
all rich
drinks
mahogany and
it's gorgeous.
I mean, maybe they do in London. I don't know. I've only had Irish ones, but
It's so I love that. That just sets the tone already.
In Ireland they're a lot more overhead lighting and you know the kind that gives you a migraine. Dreadful.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh no, like the
alone,
mise
you're
en
like,
scène.
oh,
Nancy is
Nancy knows.
Nancy is also well known for doing a million takes. So I read a bit of trivia that Kate Winslet in the newspaper office, they'd done so many takes and it was so late at night that when they wrapped, she kind of fell to the floor in raptures that thank God they were done with this scene. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so she's a journalist. I mean, nowadays she probably wouldn't be anymore because there are so few. Yeah. I mean, look at me. And Jude is a book editor. Can do that anywhere.
That's grand.
Yeah.
Not a bother.
I feel like Cameron's trailer making business has to be in the States.
Well, also, I mean, they could all live in her gaff.
Yeah, easily.
It's so big.
The girls as well.
And the girls are so young.
Yeah.
They can adapt.
And they'll be
move.
going with their auntie. So, I mean, I like the ending. I think
fine.
it's fine. And I don't really care about what happens 10 years down the
You're-
road.
You're right, actually. Very ambiguous ending.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just dancing, bopping around
Yeah.
the room together.
They
If you
could-
believe that love will save the day, then you believe that they'll just make it work.
And does Love Save the Day?
Yes, I think it does, especially at Christmas.
At Christmas, anything
Exactly.
is possible.
Anything is
The
possible.
Christmas magic is there.
James.
You put your mind to it, the Mickey will appear.
I think at your raunchy panto, you're going to meet Mr. Right.
I'll be dressed as Malahide Woman.
Maybe they'll be into drag queens.
Maybe they will.
Do you consider Malahide Woman a drag queen?
No.
Why?
Well, no,
Yeah,
she is.
no, she is.
She is.
You even performed in the G recently.
I did.
I mean,
Jonas, she is, and I suppose for years because she was a character.
Yeah.
And
you are an actor.
I am an actor.
You studied drama at Trinity
I
College
did.
Dublin.
Let's get that in there. And
Yeah.
French.
And French.
Oui,
Yeah.
oui. Let's get that in there. No, Jonas, for a while, she was a character online
Yeah.
and stuff, all during lockdown.
Yeah.
And then when I started to get booked for gigs to perform as her.
As her, yeah.
When that started, I was like, okay, maybe she is a queen.
I mean, she is a queen.
Yeah. Now, I don't shave the beard. I
No,
don't
you're
pluck
like
the
Conchita
eyebrows.
Wurst.
Exactly. And I don't cinch.
I've just had the best idea of all time.
Go on.
Send Malahide Woman to Eurovision.
I mean, I'm just putting it out there.
Oh my God.
I'm just putting it out there.
Can I be a backing singer?
Absolutely.
Oh my God, we're doing it. We're
Absolutely.
entering a song for Europe.
I think we could do it.
I think we could do it.
And we could, like...
I have a rude question.
Go on.
Does she tuck?
No. It's not that big.
She might have to for
It's not that
Eurovision.
big.
She might have to.
Did I
We'd
just
have
say
her in
that
a
on podcast?
bodysuit.
No, do you know what it is? I don't wear anything revealing enough
Yeah.
to have to talk.
Yeah.
For anyone that doesn't know,
Oh, they know.
do you know that? For anyone listening, tucking is when you take the appendage
Yeah.
and you push the hanging parts
Yeah.
back into the cavity of the body.
Yeah.
And you pull the appendage back with some tape.
Yeah.
And thus creating a beautiful blank canvas.
I mean, I've seen.
So I've yet to, but come here, I'm wearing 3 pairs of tights and a gusset.
That's true.
So things are.
And you're a fan of Spanx also.
And
Yeah.
on top of that, so things
Yeah.
are smushed.
Right.
But I've yet to have to tuck.
Right. I find tucking amazing because the men obviously, like a lot of them do a better job than women just
it's
having
amazing.
vaginas. Like
Yes.
they look smooth,
Yeah.
smooth as the
so
living
good.
day.
I'm thinking.
Sorry, we're getting very diverted here, but a cup that men wear for sports.
That
do
as
that,
well.
yeah.
You could do that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking for the Eurovision.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we're going
For our
to
entry.
Eurovision. Like she's wearing a 1950s style vintage puff skirt housewife vibe.
Stunning.
Then
Call
at the
her
dance
Housewife
break,
of the Year.
She reveals. Call her Housewife of the Year. Reveals a sparkling bodysuit.
I'm down. And I'll play the backup housewives.
Perfect.
There you go. And we'll get Mark and Paul and
They'll do it.
they'll do it.
I think we're on to something.
Oh my
We just
gosh.
have to write a song.
Okay, so this is our plan for 2025.
We can do
We've put the world to rights. I think it's fair to say.
Nancy Myers will direct the performance.
I'm going to get in touch with that lady
Yeah.
because I mentioned her in Reality Check a couple of times and I feel like I should send her a copy.
Come here. Ever any encounter with her?
Never in a million years.
Would you die?
I would die on the spot.
Yeah.
I follow her on Instagram and sometimes I might like respond to her stories.
Yeah,
but
of course.
She's yet to.
Is she
yet
to
read.
you what Letitia Jean, Sharon Watts is to you?
Yes. Letitia
Yeah.
Jean. Sharon.
Sharon. They should do Letitia Jean would be great in a rom-com.
Who? Letitia
Letitia
Jean?
Jean.
I can only see her as Sharon Watts.
But I suppose like her life is or Sharon's life is a rom-com.
Cat now, on the other hand. I'm a bit more of a cat, a leopard print.
Jessie. Oh, she's you to a
She's
T.
me to a T. Me, I have a very
Yes.
historic attachment to EastEnders from Tiffany, aka Martine McCutcheon,
Of course.
to Cat Slater. I'm not your mother. No, you're not my
Your mother.
mother.
Yes, I am.
And Christmas and
here.
EastEnders go together like two birds of a feather.
It's going to this year's storyline. Christmas night for me is EastEnders with a turkey sandwich
With Fran.
with Fran.
Fran.
Everyone has to watch it.
Everyone.
And my trick is I have my bite of my turkey sandwich and a little sip of Diet Coke. At
Oh,
the same time, it is the best taste in the world.
does that not make your sandwich fizzy?
Oh yeah, it does. It shouldn't work, but it does work.
James Patrice.
Oh, Vicki, it's her.
What can I say? I literally could sit here. We need our own chat show.
I think we do.
I mean, add that to the list.
Season 2. get
Season
me back.
feckin' 2, honestly.
We'll talk about what do we talk about? Well, we could be talking
We
about
talk about our
movie
own
by
Happy
then.
Titsmas.
Happy Titsmas.
It'll be in production.
I can see it happen.
I'll have written the script. I'm meant to be writing my third book right now, but I'm going to write the script for
Titsmas.
Happy Titsmas
What
instead.
happens if on set we get so locked one night that we end up having a rendezvous?
Oh, the two of us?
Yeah.
I'm a married woman.
So
Can Joe come too?
yeah,
Okay,
get
grand.
him in.
Okay, grand.
We'll get it, lads. Everyone in?
You're a devil man.
1, 2, 3. Joe, that's
Happy
fine.
Titsmas, the gangbang.
Yeah,
I love it.
I can see it.
You're a devil, and I have to cut you off now.
Oh, thank you, Vicki.
That's all, folks.
Happy
Actually, no,
Christmas.
hang on. Before we do that,
yes.
how many cheesy popcorns out of 5 would you give The Holiday?
Oh my goodness.
Cheesy popcorns sprinkled with Christmas magic.
Out of 5?
Yeah.
10.
Yes, that's what I like to hear.
Yes.
Dripping.
Oh,
Dripping with
dripping
cheese.
all over. Completely.
So what a note to end the season on, guys. That is all, folks, for this episode and season 1 of You Had Me at Hello.
And sorry, congratulations to Vicki and Tara.
Oh, thanks, Angel. Woo!
Amazing.
It's been the best fun, and don't fret, we'll be back in 2025 with even more romance and optimism, which is badly needed in today's world. Until then, have a very Merry Christmas with loads of love from me, Vicki Notaro.